Good afternoon. Welcome to Defiant Jeep. Today in Nevada, it is smoldering hot again, and I'm back in my garage, and we're going to work on another project. In fact, today's job is actually pretty simple. We definitely have an issue with rear bump stops. Most people like me, I love accessories, I like to customize, but my Jeep is still factory height. And I've been having an issue with the rear bump stops because when I go on trails, I carry a lot of tools. And I've not only been told this, but I actually feel this. The back jounces a lot. And that's a problem with all the gear that I carry. I mean, with the seat still folded upright, the whole cargo area is filled with tools. I reserve the seat area for other essentials like food, drink, minor supplies. But all the tools are always in the back, and that's where all the weight is. So this is what we did. We are going to take this. It is a rear bump stop. It is polyurethane. Polyurethane is an oil-based product, hence the urethane part. Now, polyurethane comes in a couple forms. You can get it in liquid form. You can get it in two types of solid, a very dense solid like this one, or you can get it in a very pliable solid, which is very flexible, very moldable. Now, what this is going to do is it's going to help absorb the shock from the rear impact that is normally taken up by this guy right here. This is a factory one. I just removed this. I wanted to make sure I can do it confidently before I showed you how it's done. Using this one, it is just a hair longer. I'm going to say about ½ an inch longer. And is not as pliable as this one right here. This one's foam. It's pretty dense foam, but you can still barely squeeze it because the Jeep itself weighs about 4,000 pounds. So you're going to need something to sustain that weight and still absorb the impact. But this, to me, it's just not doing it. So I feel I need to go to something denser. So let's go ahead and put that down for a second. This one right here, I believe, is going to solve my issue. Now, this is a very simple install. This one right here, I did in 15 minutes. And that's from taking the wheel off, having it so the vehicle is supported with a jack and a jack stand, removing the old one, installing the new one, putting the wheel back on. So you can do both within ½ an hour. I can do it. I know you can do it too. But tell you what, let's take a look. Let's go ahead and install this one here, and I'm going to show you how it's done. Alrighty, we're going to go ahead and make it to the Jeep. I've already got the wheel taken off just to save a little bit of time. But from here on out, I'm going to show you how to go ahead and install that bump stop. We're going to remove the old one, put the new one in. Okay, so we made it to the Jeep, and you can see I already have the wheel off. Now, what we're actually looking at is the factory bump stop on the driver's side. And this is what we're looking at right here. We have this little yellow item. It's difficult to see right now because we have this control arm in the way. So what we're going to do is we are going to lower the wheel jack that's supporting the differential, so we can have a little bit more space in between the differential and the bump stop so we can remove it. And since I already have the jack stand supporting the Jeep by the chassis, we should be okay. Let's go ahead and see how far we can get with this. Alright, let's see if that offered enough space to see what we need to see. And I think we're good. Alright, so now, this bump stop right here is easy to access. Now, there's two ways in my mind that you can access this. You can grab it with your bare hands, if you're strong enough. Most men are. Or if you need a little assistance, you can use like the large channel lock slip joint pliers type to help give you some leverage. Let's just see if I can get it off with my hands. I was able to do it on the other side. Hopefully I'm still strong enough to do it on this side. It is in there, my goodness. Oh, and there it is. Still intact, not broken, still very dense. All right, let's go ahead and put this guy down. Alrighty, back in the garage. My God, I am so sorry. It is so hot outside. I'm actually out of my breath here for a second. Between doing that first job under the heat, I know it's over 100 degrees. I just don't know exactly how hot it is today, which is should be cooling down. This is the normal of the year. It's we're getting to the back end of November. I'm sorry, September. It should start to be cooling down, but it's still up in the hundreds. Don't get me wrong. When it gets down to the low 90s, we're really happy around here. Always stay hydrated. Now, we have both of these guys removed from the Jeep. At this point, you can do whatever you need. If you got a friend that needs replacement original parts, there you go. If you want to wash them and toss them to your dog, have another true thing, there you go. You have several ideas. You can always repurpose it to something else, whatever you find a need for. I really don't feel like I can throw them away. There might be somebody who would need them, so I'm willing to hang on to them. If anybody wants them, I'm happy to give them away. I don't charge for anything these things. I feel it's my joy as a Jeeper to help out other Jeepers, and I'm happy to give them away to whoever wants them. All right, so getting back to this guy right here, we're ready to install. We are going to lubricate a little bit of this because now we have that metal bucket or the cup that it sits in, and this has to press into. There are some retainers. It does not only have the little dimple formation like this right here, but in that dimple formation there are 4 additional imprints or indents that this will snap into to secure it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a little WD-40 white lithium. This right here is going to offer me enough lubrication where I can coat the perimeter of where this is supposed to sit. I'm going to clean out the bucket where this sits in. I am going to use some spacers and the weight of the vehicle to help me press this into the bucket. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and I am going to spray this, and I'll be right back. Alrighty, so here we are back at the Jeep, and I'm going to show you a couple things here. First, we can see got the white lithium on my bushing. It's coated around the perimeter. It needs to. It doesn't need to be over exaggerated, and it's nice that it's the spray can that I've selected instead of the thicker paste-like grease, so I can have a little bit more leniency on the amount of goop that's on there. I'm also going to use these spacers. It may help me out, and yes, these are decorative rosettes, but it's what I could find to use as a spacer. So what I'm going to do is I am going to apply maybe 3 of these. Let's see if that's going to help me out here. Center them as best as I can, and let's grab this here bushing. Put it up there. That's going to be there. All right, so now I have a 4th block there, but it's evident I don't have enough space. So I am going to lift the differential just enough to start to make contact. And then we're going to start to press it a little bit. And if we can get it to stay, I'll apply the 4th block, and then we'll apply the vehicle weight. So let's see how far we can get with that. Let's take a look. Give another pump. Let's take a look. How are you looking? Is it mating up in there? All right, so it's just at the area. So we're going to go ahead and give it another pump. Okay, now it's starting to get in there. Let's take a look at our jack stand. That is still good. Okay, so and let's take a look at the position of our jack on the differential. That still looks good. Alrighty, let's give it another pump. At the same time, I'm trying to be real safe about this because I don't need any negative mishaps to happen. You know, like most others, this Jeep is my daily driver also. And I just felt a little snap and I heard something. Well, look at that. It looks like it's mating in well. At this point, I'm going to lower the differential to get a better look. Hopefully that's enough. Oh wow, I made ample space. Okay, so now that's in there. What I want to do is I'm going to add this 4th block. And I am going to give this another few pumps. just to make sure I don't lose it. All right, let's take a look at, oh, I still got some more to go. Let's keep on going. Okay, so now I am actually making contact. So, jack stand is still secure on the chassis. I'm looking at the foot pad of the jack. It still looks good on the differential. Let's give this a few more pumps. See if we can get it to seat more, or if we've made it to the limit to where we have to go. Okay, and the jack stand is actually off of the chassis. And I believe that's it, but give me a second. I'm gonna go take a look at the passenger side if I can. That should be set though. Of course I got my big huge tire in the way, but I'm confident that this is set in the way it's supposed to be. So, with that being said, oh, good Lord. We are going to put our tire back on. All right, let's take a look. All right, and there you have it. 2 rear bump stops installed within 30 minutes. The only thing I have left to do is to put the wheel on and lower the vehicle and put it back on the ground on its own weight. Other than that, we're finished. On a safety note, always remember to use tire chocks. Even though you're just using the jack and the jack stand to lift one side of the vehicle, you never know what can happen. Oh, excuse me a second. It is hot. Yes, always be careful of negative impacts. Just in my case, the chassis is supported by the jack stand, but you don't want to be that guy supporting your differential with a jack, and the jack lets go, and then the tension from that spring just comes crashing down. You don't want to be in that position. Always think safety. Always think first. Of course, this is my daily driver, so I have to consider that as well. But that's it for today. 2 rear polyurethane bump stops installed in 30 minutes. Thank you for watching. I really love having you here at Defiant Jeep. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And don't forget to join us at DesertWranglers.club. We will be seeing you soon. Have a great day.